Welcome to the Whole Dyslexic Society's first YouTube series, August 2020, Talking the Dys Out of Dyslexia. There's so much information out there about dyslexia, right? Well, I'm Sue Hall, a Davis dyslexia facilitator, the author of Fish Don't Climb Trees, the founder of the Whole Dyslexic Society, but more importantly, I'm dyslexic and so is my son, and I think you all deserve the whole truth about dyslexia. My son's struggles led me to discover the gift of dyslexia, which leads to both talents and challenges, and along the way I discovered that I too have dyslexia, thankfully, along with 1/3 of the population. I'm all about reaching the cause of a problem rather than treating the symptoms, so if that works for you too, here we go. I'll keep it as concise as I can. For the past 20 years, I've been working with children and adults who have a particular way of thinking and learning, but it's not always the way they're taught. So if they learn one way and they're taught another way, it's obvious that there's going to be a challenge of some description. Neither way of learning is right or wrong, they're just different. The dys in dyslexia means difficulty, and lexia means words, and words have 3 parts to them. In this example, the spelling, C-A-T, the pronunciation, cat, and the meaning, for which there is a 3D image. Firstly, 1/3 of the population has a gift, a natural ability to alter perception. And this gift leads to a multitude of talents in the 3D world, and also leads to difficulties in the 2D world of print. If you look at a dog from any angle, it's always a dog. If you look at a lowercase d from 180 degrees, it is perceived as a P. Children sometimes say that the letters are flipping, but of course they're stuck to the page. They're just telling us in their way that they are viewing them from multiple angles. The spelling of a word is made up of letters that need to be perceived from the same viewpoint as our real eyes in the same sequence and from left to right. So there's the first part of the challenge. The second component arises because there are people who think with sound, the verbal conceptualizers. They talk to themselves to process, and I call them the little PCs. And there are non-verbal conceptualizers who see images and film and process kinesthetically. I call them the little Apple Macs. There's nothing wrong with either computer. They simply run on a different system. There is a continuum between the sound-based learner and the image-based learner. Some only think with sound and a little image, some mostly image with a little sound, and those in the middle who are a good mixture. Little Apple Macs can see their images at a rate of 32 per second. Little PCs process the sound of words at a rate of 3 to 4 words per second. Our education system was created by and for the PCs, and the most common disconnect is that the Apple Macs are asked to read to learn phonetically, which is not in their wheelhouse. They just don't do that. Breaking down a word into sound parts does not work for them. Conventional remedial methods then try to coax them down to the sound end because they think they should learn to read phonetically, and then they would fit into the education system. I don't like that word should. Those who are close to the middle of the continuum might make it, but those who are firmly down the image-based end do not. Giving them more of what they couldn't do in the beginning and expecting a different result is torture and fits the definition of insanity. So there's the second part of the challenge. The third component arises from the meaning of words. Picture thinkers need a picture to think with. If I say tree, you can imagine the meaning. If I say bicycle, you can imagine the meaning. If I say pencil, you can imagine one. If I say the, what do you see? Just the? Just THE? That's the spelling, but what is the meaning? There's no image for the meaning of the or, if, and, so, on. And 217 of those little words make up half of what we read, no matter what grade level. Add in concepts that have no picture meaning, like the words idea, behavior, irony, and it's no wonder we drift off into space. If a picture thinker is trying to make a film as he or she reads, and yet there are blank frames in the film, he will become confused and lose the plot. Would you stay in a movie theater if the film kept blanking out? No. You would leave and find a movie that was continuous, and that movie is called our imagination. This part of the challenge is easy to grasp. For a picture thinker, no picture for the meaning equals no thinking with the meaning. No wonder children get accused of daydreaming, not paying attention. There wasn't enough to keep them in the original theatre. So let's add these ingredients together. 1/3 of the population has a perceptual gift that works for them in the 3D world and against them in the 2D world of print. Plus, they are the little Apple Macs in a PC education system, being asked to learn to read phonetically, which is not how they were born to learn. And there are no picture meanings for half to 2/3 of the text they read. I often wonder how they even make it to school. Our current education system is unaware of their perceptual gift, seems to be unaware that there is an alternative to phonetic reading instruction, and unaware of the need for every word to have an image-based meaning. Subsequently, the system advocates for early intervention and testing with a view to giving the student remediation, or more of what they couldn't do already. Early intervention sounds a reasonable solution, and at best the testing gives the family a starting point. But it also sends an unhelpful and harmful message to the children who are being tested. They don't like being pulled out of class. They feel segregated. They don't like going back into the class knowing they've missed something, and rarely does anyone tell them what they've missed. They begin to think that there must be something wrong with them. They already know they can't do what the other children can do. They're labeled something beginning with dis. They become the recipients of unkind comments and bullying. They are given more of what they couldn't do in the beginning. Even with the extra help in school and out of school, they can't do what the other children are doing. So by now, they are convinced they're stupid, and they begin to live their label. Once labeled, our education system offers more of what they couldn't do already, especially more phonics for reading, more band-aids or third-party methods, and technology. In offering the student more of what they couldn't do already, our education system compounds the situation, simply because it is unaware of an alternative solution. We all know you can't fix a problem with the methods that created it in the first place. A simple example of a band-aid is the alphabet song. The person knows the song, and the song knows the alphabet, but the person doesn't know the alphabet without going through the song. This is not wrong. It's just a third-party way of knowing something, as opposed to the alphabet just being part of you, which is the definition of mastery. Currently, technology is taking over in the form of speech-to-text, and text that is read to you. This is called an accommodation. In fact, by using this technology, the education system is absolving itself of any responsibility to teach the little Apple Macs. I happen to believe our children have a basic right to read and write and do math themselves, and yet they are being denied that right. They are being bumped along, using these accommodations to keep up with the other children, because our system believes them to be disabled. It is in fact our system that is disabled by a lack of understanding. Just because our educators might not be able to alter their perception doesn't give them the right to invalidate our gift and deny all our children an equal cognitive opportunity. So now you know why dyslexia exists, how it came about, and in the next two YouTubes, we cover both what can be done to correct the challenges and what can be done to prevent them. Thank you for watching.